So they are emptying the prisons, all right? They're letting the criminals go. They're letting them out. They're letting some of the worst people out of their prisons because they cannot afford to keep them in there. They can't afford to pay for these people and feed them and give them medical care and all this stuff, attention. So their plan is just to let them out, all right? And they are sending them to the United States, all right? And we've probably heard this story before. You've probably heard stuff like this before. But a new DHS report has come out saying that Venezuela is sending their criminals. They are releasing people from jail because they cannot afford. We all know the situation in Venezuela: extreme inflation, extreme poverty, people wrapped around the blocks to get food rations, and by the time they get to the front, there's no food. Okay, this is the situation in Venezuela. People eating pets, people eating zoo animals. And while this is going on, there are like elite markets. I can't remember the exact name. It's like luxury elite markets, something like that, where food is so expensive and only the ultra rich can go there, and they show up in like Lamborghinis and Ferraris and iced out and decked out and all this clothes, and they show up and they pay outrageous amounts for food because that's the only way to get food in Venezuela, you know, paying hundreds of dollars for strawberries or something like that. So this is what's happening in Venezuela. So they obviously can't afford to pay to keep criminals in jail. So they are sending them to the United States. They're letting them out of jail, and a new DHS report has come out saying that they are making their way here. All right. And this comes as the record has been broken for the most amount of people that have crossed the border in a single year. All right. It's this year. It's this year. All right. So it's like 2.1 million people have crossed and been processed, that got arrested and processed and everything. That's just the people that they tracked and found and processed. All right, 2.1 million. That's a record. All right, what is happening? I mean, we know what's happening. These countries in Central and South America are absolutely collapsing because their governments are completely incompetent. They have been money printing. They have been letting crime and cartels run their country. And now it is coming to America. It's spilling over. All right. This story here is super sad that I read. All right. So there was this family-owned barbecue restaurant. And it is a Texas border town where this restaurant is in. And this restaurant has been ransacked and stolen from so many times because it's right on the border, and there are desperate people crossing looking for resources as soon as they cross, and it's in kind of a, you know, not the best area, and they had to shut down their barbecue business because so many people are breaking in and stealing from them, and most of them are suspected to be people that have crossed over. Okay. Sorry about that. My mouth's a little dry. But this is insane. This is a giant, massive business that the cartel is running, trafficking these people. This is human trafficking. Okay. And I looked it up. They made $13 billion last year. The cartel did, just from human trafficking to the United States. Okay. Just from human trafficking. They made $13 billion. That is insane. That is nuts. That is just like, that's more than some massive corporations, $13 billion. And that's from one thing. They also do tons of other criminal activities that they make billions of dollars off of as well. All right. So $13 billion. And this story came out. It said this was a few months ago when a bunch of people were found in a truck that were getting transported over, all right? And sadly, they did not make it. But the people, they interviewed the family, okay? They interviewed the family of these people, and these people said that they took out a loan to pay them 10,000 US dollars per person to send these people over. $10,000 per person, and they took out a loan to do it, and then this happens to their relatives. All right, this is just sad and not okay that we allow this to happen, that this is a giant criminal organization that's committing massive crimes to humanity, all right, to people. And, you know, putting them in, they're shoving them in the back of 120-degree trucks in the middle of Texas. All right, I was driving through Oklahoma, and it was scorching. Western Oklahoma, it was 102 degrees, and the wind's blowing, and the heat is in your face. You feel like you can't even breathe sometimes. Now imagine being trapped in the back of a truck with no airflow or anything. That's a terrible way to go, all right? And these people paid $10,000 for their relatives to be treated like that, all right? You could have paid $10,000 to send them on a vacation to freaking Cancun, you know, or send them to Disney or something. You could have just like gotten a visa or something. You could have started a visa application, and they did this for 2 people. So they took out $20,000 in loans to send these people. You could have just started a freaking visa application for people. I think it's only a few $1,000s to get your application, right? This is so sad, but these people just don't know this. The only thing they know is that everyone they know has used these cartels, all right, and they've given them money, and some of their family members have gotten over, all right? Some people have had success, others have not, sadly, all right? And it's sad either way, because it's like now the American people have to deal with this problem, all right? And we have to use our resources on this issue that is being created by governments, you know, that are our neighbors, right? So we aren't solving the problem there. We aren't like helping them solve the problem there to keep people there, to help them make, you know, maybe we could help them make their countries better there so people want to stay there and not feel like they have to come here. And a lot of these people show up and they're given a false dream. They're given a very life's kind of rough. It's not like life's glamorous for everyone in America, okay? Like everyone's just living in LA or something and we're all just loaded. And no, a lot of America is facing very tough times, very rough times, very hard times. People are struggling, and then these people are just getting dropped off in these areas and people don't even know what to do, okay? People are struggling themselves. Communities have food banks and food lines. I used to live in a community where every 2 weeks there was a food bank there, and the community mostly depended on it to survive, okay? They were depending on people to bring them food for free so they could feed their families, because things were so desolate and people were just desperate, and there were not a lot of opportunities there because it was just in the middle of nowhere, okay? People have to drive over an hour just to like go to a job or something. So this is how a lot of people are living in America, and then these people show up and they think it's all just, you know, rainbows here, and sadly it's not, okay? A lot of America is struggling. A lot of America is falling apart. A lot of rural areas are just becoming desolate and falling apart. The buildings are falling apart. I've traveled all over, all right? I've been to, I don't know how many states, at least 20 different states, all right? And there's pockets all over America where the buildings are just falling apart. The towns are just run down, and it's sad because you could see that they used to be cool little mining towns or cool little mountain towns or cool little whatever towns, little prairie towns, and now they're just run down and desolate. And you know what I mean? I'm just saying, there's people here struggling. There's a lot of struggle here that we need to focus on. We need to take care of too. All right. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think about this situation. All right. This is a tragedy all around. All right. Multiple people are being exploited and manipulated and used. And all from all sides in this situation, it's just not good. This problem needs to be solved, and it's just constantly ignored for some reason. All right, so let me know what you guys think, and you have a blessed day.